As some of you know, part of my job is to take around the Fatima statue and to educate people on how to pray the Rosary and what the Fatima message is. And I overheard someone saying that if you're in the state of mortal sin, you have no business praying the Rosary because you're cut off from grace. And I found that kind of offensive because we remember in the Memorare, remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thine intercession was left unaided. It doesn't say only those in the state of grace. And if you think about it, you can't be cut off from all graces because you converting is a grace. That is a grace from God. God is giving you the grace to convert, the grace to go to confession. So there must be something wrong with that whole sentiment. Obviously, if you have the misfortune of committing a mortal sin, you really should make an act of perfect contrition, which is telling God, I'm sorry just because I offended you, not because I want heaven or that I fear hell, but because you're my God and I offended you. I'm sorry. Obviously, you need to do that. But remember what St. Louis de Montfort said about the Rosary. I have a little quote right here. I've said it before on the channel. If you say the Rosary faithfully until death, I do assure you that, in spite of the gravity of your sins, you shall receive a never-fading crown of glory, even if you are on the brink of damnation, even if you have one foot in hell, even if you have sold your soul to the devil as sorcerers do who practice black magic, and even if you are a heretic as obstinate as a devil, sooner or later you will be converted and will amend your life and save your soul. If, and mark well what I say, if you say the Holy Rosary devoutly every day until death for the purpose of knowing the truth and obtaining contrition and pardon for your sins. He also said, he who prays his Rosary every day will never be led astray. This is a statement that I would sign with my own blood. There's totally a flavor of rigorism that's running through the Catholic world right now in regards to Mary. Now, St. Louis de Montfort says that she loves us more than all the mothers of the world combined. And yet, when I kneel down and I pray the Rosary in countless people's homes, it's almost like they're fearful that they're may say something wrong, may mispronounce something. Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? This all totally doesn't make sense. When you call your mom, are you saying, "Hello, Mom? How are you doing? I love you"? No, okay. Everyone just needs to calm down. And I'm hoping that if I read some stories from one of the greatest books ever written since the Bible, The Glories of Mary by St. Alphonsus Liguori, who was a doctor of the church, people might understand how loving and forgiving Mary actually is. This is in chapter 2. It is narrated by Father Bevius of a very sinful person named Helen that having gone to church, she accidentally heard a sermon on the Rosary. As she went out, she bought one, but carried it hidden so that it should not be seen. Afterwards, she began to recite it, and although she recited it without devotion, the Most Holy Virgin infused into her heart such consolation and sweetness in it that she could not cease repeating it. And by this, she was inspired with such a horror of her evil life that she could find no peace, and was forced, as it were, to go to confession. She confessed with so much contrition that the confessor was amazed. Having finished her confession, she went immediately before an altar of the Blessed Virgin to thank her advocate. She recited her Rosary, and the Divine Mother spoke to her from her image and said, "Helen, you have too long offended God and me. Henceforth, change your life, and I will bestow upon you many favors." The poor sinner in confusion answered, "Ah, Most Holy Virgin, it is true that hitherto I have been very sinful, but thou, who art all-powerful, assist me. I give myself to thee, and will pass the remainder of my life in doing penance for my sins." Assisted by Mary, Helen bestowed all her goods upon the poor, and commenced a rigorous penance. She was tormented by dreadful temptations, but she continued to recommend herself to the Mother of God, and always, with her aid, came off victorious. She was favored also with many supernatural graces, as visions, revelations, and prophecies. At last, before her death, of which she had been warned a few days previously by Mary, the Virgin herself came with her Son to visit her. And in death, the soul of this sinner was seen in the form of a beautiful dove ascending to heaven. So I don't care what state you're in, pray the Rosary. Hang on to it, because she prayed it without devotion, and Our Lady very mercifully still interceded for her. Now, I know it can be confusing. I know you hear a lot of different stories of, oh, we need to pray this perfectly and everything. But hang on to that notion. Talk to Mary as you would your mother. You don't have to feel anything necessarily when you pray the Rosary, but do it. St. Alphonsus Liguori said, do not go to bed without having first prayed your Rosary. So please continue in that. God bless you, and Our Lady keep you.